we definitely do that. This is a part of C6, which sets us, I think, big time apart from the others, and where we just basically have the knowledge and the experience. So, as you know yourself, I mean, the most projects, nothing against young guys, but they have a lack of experience. So. Trading, being in the financial market, it needs really a lot of experience. So Peter, me, we have seen everything. We have seen the 99 crash, Pedro, you as well. Yeah, so we have seen the terrorist attacks in 2002 and 2003. We have seen the 9/11 crash. We have seen so many things which the younger generation lags behind.
If I may say, the 87 crash again, or vice versa.
Yeah. So they lag behind, and they can't imagine today if such a scenario would happen again, how this would affect everything. So, and cryptos are not regulated at all, which makes it much more difficult. So you can't basically run after almost a company, right? So it's not regulated. And then the trend, what you see, it's semi-professional, all the setups. There are really just a few professional exchanges as we are used to know, in terms of connections, in terms of speed, in terms of being reliable. It makes it very difficult. And what we offer is exactly the risk management, I would say, which includes the hedging, as you mentioned. And this depends on the risk appetite of the client, right? So we could suggest always something to be fully hedged, 100%, or we could suggest 50%. It depends. There are so many criteria behind, because it depends also. We are also kind of a CFO for the company, for the ICO, because we have to manage the cash flow, right? So they have to tell us what the cash flow is needed for, so when is needed, and it's in accordance with the ICO company, what they need it for and how much they would like to hedge themselves. It's not like always, every single client has his, in the end, they have their own opinion as well, right? So they say sometimes, I don't know, I want to be hedged only with 50%. I would like to be hedged with 80%. Yeah, but this is what we do, exactly as you say, the volatility, and then it depends on the client itself, where he thinks. We advise. We advise. We provide our view, and basically act on that. We have the necessary setup, so you have to have backups, because it's 24/7, right? The market doesn't sleep. You could go to sleep and wake up, and everything is lower by 30-40%. And you have to have the right tools. Yeah, you have to have the right tools. You have to have the right setup in order to really be able to manage those things. So it makes it very complicated. There's no single point where you can easily manage things, and overnight everything is closed and you can go and sleep. This market runs even on Sundays, huh? So yeah, exactly. And it makes it very difficult in terms of connections, because you could choose one exchange if it's mainly only Ether or Bitcoin, but you know yourself what happened with Kraken, for example, or Polynex. They were down for almost 1 month, right? You couldn't do anything. So those are risks which you have to calculate in. and you have to know about the downtime of the exchanges. So I doubt that anybody is screening 24/7 the uptime of each exchange, you know. So, and even what you don't know, for example, is today is a good example. Last night we dropped like, from the day before we dropped like from 11.8 in Bitcoin to 10.2, and then we went up again to 10.8, 10.9, and now we are sitting at 9.6, 9.8, 9.7. So those are 10% moves within hours. One might say, "Hey, it's cool. You could you could profit out of that." But once you're in the certain exchanges, you will realize that the servers of those exchanges are overloaded. So in times where the market is falling fast or going up fast, it's very difficult to execute trades. Those things are crucial. You have to know that, and this is basically specifically by exchange. So I can give you. I'm not going to mention now the exchange, which one it is, but just now, happening now, the moves, and you're missing in Bitcoin about 300 to 400 points. Why? Because the servers are overloaded. You can't place any orders. You can't get out. You can't get in. So missing 300-400% in Bitcoin at the moment, it's like 4 or 5%. Exactly, and this is our job to know. In good times, you know, everybody makes money. In good times, it's one-way market, so it's quite easy, huh? So in the stock market, you didn't have to do anything in the past 8 years. Just invest and sleep. Just invest and sleep. So it worked very well, right? So it's getting difficult when the markets became shaky. So nobody knows what to do. And in theory, you always say like, "Oh, okay, I could sell. Wow, this was a cool price." But in reality, you can't, because exchange A, server is overloaded. Exchange B, it's down. Exchange C, you can't even connect. Exchange D.
Execution is everything. And this is where I would say the old experience comes into play, that it's, as Akam was saying, it's not about how well it looks and so on. It's the practicality in things. Are you able to get things executed? And yes, if it costs a bit more, you gotta pay for quality. And that's a mentality that we know because of our old age. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the nitty-gritty and say, yes, rather pay a bit more, but we know that we don't know, but we have a much bigger chance of getting executed. Can we get it executed from Bitcoin's Ethereum into fiat? Yes, we have a setup by our lawyers and so on, and a bank that we work with, that this can be done. So if you want to sell 400 Bitcoins, we'll find the buyer for it. Or if you want to sell 10,000 Ethereum, we'll find a buyer for it. Again, if you try to do it yourself sometimes, you do not know if you execute it or not. But if you want to have it executed, yes, you will have to pay a fee for it. Later, in 2 or 3 or 4 years, the market will be much more efficient. Then it's a different story. But right now, this is the market that we're in. We're just going to adapt to the market that we're in and find solutions for it. And again, as Akan's saying, it's all about the execution, not how well the platform looks.